and pass the ball to our fantastic guest, Chris.
Sounds like we're all set. So yeah, good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, Francisco. Anna, thank you for the opportunity to share my experiment with you guys today. As Francisco mentioned, he approached me a few weeks ago now based on some content I've been sharing on LinkedIn. I'm a big fan of agile games. I believe in the concept where if you tell someone something, they might remember it. If you teach them something, their odds are they will remember it. But if you involve them in something, they'll learn. And that for me embodies everything I aspire to do about how I coach and how I teach concepts to people. And for me, agile games are one of the great ways to bring in a visual way, not necessarily actually seeing, but contextualizing abstract concepts into real life scenarios and to make them feel real for people. And in particular, put people that don't traditionally do a certain role into how it feels to be in that role in a contextual way. And that's where the Agile Arcade idea was born. I've been doing, as Francisco mentioned, these game of the week posts, and often they are single Miro boards or single virtual whiteboards where you can go on and play a single game. And I thought, how can I do better than that? How can I enable the people that are involved to select the game like an arcade machine where you go in and you take your coins, your tokens, and you spend and choose the game you want to play. And that's where this concept was born. So I think Francisco created a great visual there. I've shared the Miro link in the chat. So if everyone can begin navigating their way there, that will be wonderful. I think we can see 12 or so guests on it now. And what you should be seeing is the choose your game section. So very much like an arcade machine where you'd be presented with these options to play. Today on offer, there are 6 games to play. Before we start with that, however, just a few points, a few caveats. As Francisco mentioned, this is an experiment, so your patience and your feedback, very much appreciated. If this works terribly, do let me know. If you're enjoying it, let me know also. I'm more than happy to share this board if you want to run this experiment, this arcade concept with others. Another note, this is the largest virtual whiteboard I have ever built. A lot of people told me it's a pretty advanced whiteboard, which means it might be a little bit chaotic. So again, I appreciate your patience there. If you do get lost moving your way around, if you're not familiar with Miro, there is a piece of functionality in your bottom left-hand corner called frames. There's a navigation panel on the left-hand side, bottom left-hand corner, and that will allow you to select and navigate your way through the frames. And if you ever get lost, just call out and ask which frame you should be on, and we can help direct you to the right place. And lastly, obviously, have fun. Before we start with the games, I've told you a little bit about me. I'd like to hear a little about you, if that's okay. So if I bring everyone to me now, we are at the a little bit about you section. I would love you guys to grab one of the little pumpkins on the left-hand side here and just place them on the map from where you're based in the world. If you can't grab an item, press V on your keyboard and it will allow you to select them. Or there's a navigation panel on the far left-hand side. If you make sure that the little blue cursor is selected, that will allow you to drag and drop those items. And what this will tell us is where we're all based. Obviously, one of the benefits that we were talking about COVID is that it's enabled us to be a bit more global, to connect with others who perhaps we may not have usually had the opportunity to speak to. So we've got a lot clustered around the Europe area. I think I'm guessing, Keenan, that's you down in South Africa at the bottom. And we've got someone up in the northern USA. And we've got some in the Scandinavia. So a range of places represented. If you wouldn't mind then going into the what's your role section. So it'd be great to hear what sort of roles you perform in your work. So whether you're a coach yourself, a scrum master, a developer, whatever that may be, it'd be great to hear what kind of roles that you guys are performing.
And maybe, Chris, you can share your screen.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a moment.
How can...
If there's ever any usability issues like this, then just prod me. I'm more than happy to try and make it better.
Just make sure you guys
How do you
choose the
expand
arrow.
this?
Okay, so we're in the what's your role section, and make sure you've got the arrow selected on the left-hand side here, or press V on your keyboards. And if you double click on a post-it note, you can type inside it and add your role. So I can see here we've got some scrum masters, some coaches, some product owners, a machine learning engineer. Cool. And you don't need to move the Scrum Master, your role onto the board necessarily. You can keep that where the other ones are. All right, so we've got a mixture of roles and a mixture of locations. Great to meet you guys. Now to the fun stuff. Let's go back to the games. Now, as mentioned, I'm a big fan of crowdsourcing the topics that are important to you guys. Rather than me selecting the game, I want you to select the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a quick overview as to the 6 games on offer. And then I will invite you to drag the little coins on the left-hand side here onto the game that you most want to play. You'll have 2 votes each. So first of all, we have A Beautiful Summer Meadow, which is a game you may have played before. It's about outcomes versus outputs. It will contextualize how it feels when someone presents you with a user story, a brief, a set of requirements that's focused on outcomes versus whether they're focused on outputs. It's a game that takes about 15 to 20 minutes. It's relatively easy to play in terms of complexity. And I've tweaked this one to be a bit of a Halloween focused one, given the time of year we're in. We've got My Morning Routine. This is a game about MVP. I'm not sure about you guys, but I have noticed and observed a lot of times that people misunderstand what MVP means. They think it means a final product. They think it means this. They think it means this gold-plated solution, and that's not the case. So this game is all about how to contextualize what MVP really is. It's a game that's a little bit longer. It will take 40 to 45 minutes. Teams of up to 8 people. And that's that game. We've got the Agile name game. This is a game about context switching. I'm sure you've experienced this before when you're trying to multitask because you've got so many things to do. The reality is humans are not designed to multitask, and this game will demonstrate that. So there's various rounds there that will make or allow you to feel how it feels when you're being asked to multitask. We've got Drawosaurus. This is an online Pictionary game. It's more of an energizer activity. It's great for kicking off perhaps a workshop on a particularly challenging topic. So it's great to bring the energy level back up if it started to suffer. It's very simple. You go into go onto a website, you create a team name, and you start drawing, and you get to guess correctly or incorrectly what people are drawing. And there's points awarded, so there's a bit of competition about it. But it's quite simply a bit of a fun game to bring a team together. The coin game is a classic. I'm sure you've all played variations of the coin game. This is a particularly good version that I've discovered through someone in my network, and it contextualizes. It's a great game to introduce Agile for the first time to new teams. It's a great game to remind existing teams about Agile ways of working. And the way it does so is it takes you through various rounds of what it feels like to do batch-focused delivery, Kanban delivery, and then value-focused delivery. And the last game on offer is called Agile Battleships, and it's all about feedback loops. So in this game, we will play a few rounds, one wherein you get instant feedback and one where you get delayed feedback. And we will explore how it feels in both scenarios. With that in mind, that's the description of the games. What I'm going to invite you to do, I'm going to set a minute on the timer, and I'd like you to grab and vote, spend your coins, your tokens accordingly, and we will start on the game that gets the most votes. Over to you. The timer is set for 2 minutes.
So 2 coins.
2 coins each. And I can see lots of coins are being thrown around now. There's a slight lead at the moment for the Beautiful Summer Meadow game, which pleases me greatly because it's the Halloween themed one. Do not let me influence you there, by the way. Just to check. Oh, I must not have locked a screen there. Someone's moved the, there we go. I'm going to lock that. This is what I mentioned about chaos. There's so many moving parts as part of this board. I can't possibly lock down everything. Well, about a minute left. Is everyone okay that they are able to do their votes? Anyone struggling doing a vote? Okay, looking good. A minute left or so. I think the coin game is sneaking into the lead by the looks of it.
Sorry, Chris, I don't actually see my name on this on the board here.
You will not see your name. You will see a cursor, which might call yourself guest designer or guest developer or something to that effect. Are you seeing that?
I'm meant to move it though.
So if you move your mouse, that should be your cursor, and it should give you, you may have set a name when you first joins, but you may not have done so, and you'll be called guest something. At the top of your screen, there will be my name, CS. You'll see others. There's 11 plus 2 others, and you can see the list of people that are also on this board.
And if you don't see which cursor is yours, you can hide other people. So left of your name, in the top menu, there is this arrow where you can hide other people. So you'll then see only your mouse. Because there is a lot of us and might be confusing.
Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like the coin game is the winner with a beautiful summer meadow in second. Any disagreements there?
Nope.
No? All right, wonderful. So we're going to play that game first. That's the winner. So we're going to start with the coin game. And the way to navigate to the coin game, you should see a little 8-ball next to those coins. A magic 8-ball. There's an arrow in the top corner of that. If you press that, it will navigate you to where you need to be. So we should all be over at the starting point where it says start here. If anyone's struggling to find that, let me know and I'll bring you all to me. Okay, so on this game, just a bit of credit, as this is not my game, it's not my creation. It's an online version by a guy called Steve Wells, someone from my network. And he created this as part of his website, Agile Simulations. There's lots of games on there, so I invite you to have a look in your own free time. This is a classic game, as I said, demonstrates Agile principles very well. So how it's going to work, what we're going to do is we're going to divide up into teams of 4. Now, what I'm going to invite you to do is in the organize your team section to the right here. And again, I'll bring everyone to me so you can see. We've got lots of Halloween themed team names here. I'm going to suggest, given the number of people we have, that we use Team Ghost, Team Ghoul, and Team Witch. And if everyone can start self-organizing and moving and putting their names against a team, obviously we need 4 people per team, and we'll go from there. Now, once we've got everyone in the right teams, we're going to navigate our way to this separate website, Agile Simulations, and we're going to create a game based on the team name we've just agreed that we're in. And you'll input your own name on this website so that we know who's in the teams. And then we'll send you off into your breakout rooms to play the game. The tool is very self-explanatory. The way you're going to play the game is essentially once everyone's in their game and their roles are sorted, to play the game, you'll select start batch run, or start Kanban run, or start value run. And then it will show a workflow. So there'll be roles, product owner, customer, developer. I'll demonstrate it in a moment when we're clear on the names. So we've got Team Witch is full. We've got a few missing from Team Ghoul by the looks of it. We've got an M and M, Keenan and Brian in Team Ghost. So, given the number of players, Anna and Francisco, would you mind joining one of those teams?
Yeah, we'll do with pleasure.
Yeah, how many have we? Yeah, I think we need 2 more in Team Ghoul at least.
So Ghost, we have Keenan, Brian, Bea, placing that now. And M, is that Molloy? Is that you?
Molloy, yeah. I'm not sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's me.
So I'm gonna, just looking at the breakout rooms, I'm seeing, looks to me at least, that Gladys is not assigned. So we'll assign her to Team Goal.
Yep, and we haven't got Andrew in it either, if I'm right.
I think I saw Andrew before. Have I not?
Yeah, I don't see me.
Yeah, Andrew, if you can assign yourself to Team Ghoul as well.
Seems to be.
So Andrew, Team Ghoul. And we'll have, we've got Gladys in now. So we need Arno or Francisco in Team Ghoul as well.
I can go in
be a
Team
witch?
Goal.
So I want to be in team witch. Witches are always smart.
That's already filled though.
With
Then
bold,
you are a goal.
you can facilitate. It's fine.
Why don't we do it that way? Chris, are you okay to go in goal? I
Yeah,
should
I'll tell
probably
you what,
remain in the main room anyway.
We'll have one facilitator per group. So
Yeah.
I will cover Ghoul.
Yeah.
Francisco, if you can cover Ghost, and
Yeah.
Anna, if you can cover Team Witch. Okay.
Perfect.
So we've got our teams now. Everyone should know which team they're in. I'm going to go in. There we go. So the way to get to this game, there's a coin at the bottom. It says "Click me to begin" at the bottom of this board. If you click that, you'll navigate your way there. And I'm conscious, Keenan, you played this game earlier, so apologies, but don't worry too much. It should be okay regardless. So everyone should be able to see my screen. When you first load this game up, you're going to be prompted with some information as to how to play it. As mentioned, once we start each round, if we're in batch run, for example, you can see a list of coins, all of different values, sizes. They're all British coins, if you're unfamiliar with these coins. There's lots of 2p's, 1p's, pounds, 50p's, 20p's, etc. Now, there's obviously a workflow demonstrated by product owner, developer, tester, integrator, and then customer. Customer means they've got what they're looking for. They've got the product. The way this works is that to move something through the workflow, you'll click each of those coins. And I'm not going to say too much more than that. There's variations in each round that you'll discover. So you can invite you to press skip there. And the facilitators, can you please create your game names? And for everyone else, don't do anything just yet until those game names are created. So I'm going to be creating Ghoul, so Ghoul. So the workshop, it's Workshop Agile Arcade. So if you select Agile Arcade as a workshop, Francisco and Anna, and then add in the teams, Ghoul and Witch and Ghost. And then once those are set up, can you let me know? And then we can get everyone adding their team, their personal name in.
Ghost ready?
Ghost ready? How are you going, Anna?
Sorry, you lost me. How do I find the game to set the team?
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So there should be an option to say team here. So if you press that, it will give you an option to type in, and if you select multi-team game, type in Agile Arcade and then type in Witch and team name. And once you've done that, if you let me know, and then everyone else can then input the team name first, put in their relevant team name as to what they're signed up to, and then their own name. I appreciate the patience in setting this up, guys. Oh, does someone skip forward to the conclusions? What happened there? It might be a bug.
Sorry, that
by
came up to me.
Oh, okay.
Maybe more
Done.
Done. Okay. So if everyone can now put in, their team name, so everyone else just put in your team name, whether you're in Ghoul, Ghost, or Witch, and
Where
then
should I put it?
Where
I can see the game name, set game name. That's what I see.
Yeah, so click that and type in your team name that we agreed on the
Oh,
model.
okay, cool.
Yeah. And then once you've done that, we're going to then press I am, enter your personal name.
Yep.
And then you'll put in your personal name.
The team name doesn't appear.
That's the game name.
So it's game name, yeah.
It's game name, okay. So sorry, in the game name we should put the team name.
Yep.
Yes, the name of the team we agreed. So you were either in Ghost, Ghoul, or Witch.
Okay, thanks.
And I'm sharing the screen again now just to remind you in case you're not sure which one you're in. Okay, how are we doing?
Okay, so do we need to add something in set my name as well?
Yes, in set your name, put your own name in as well.
Right, okay.
So the outcome for each of the non-facilitators is to put in the team name under game name. Apologies for the change in language there, but your team name that we agreed on the Miro boards under the game name, and put in your own name under the personal name section. Once everyone's done that, if you can let us know, that'll be useful. Is there a thumbs up button in Zoom? I can't remember. Or a hands up. If you can do that, that might help everyone know.
Yeah.
That you're
Either
good.
react. Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
There we go. Thumbs up. We'll start seeing those come through.
I can't do thumbs up, but I'm done.
So I think I'm lost because I had some technical issues. So anyway, so it's.
So if you try and, I don't know, refresh the screen, and maybe give another go. Put your team name and your personal name in.
So I should click on skip directly, or?
Yeah, press skip. Ignore that. That's
and
kind
play
of
game. Okay.
Yeah. Put your game name as your team and your personal name as your personal name.
Okay. Game name as a team. I'm not able to remember. Is it go?
Oh, hold on. I'll check for you.
It's called.
It's
Ghost.
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 Yeah.
Sorry.
Ghost.
Ghost. And set my name. I can remember.
Cool. Right.
Sorry.
We're about ready. So what's going to happen now is you're going to be pushed into your breakout rooms. That's just your team. And as a team, you need to agree which role you're performing, either product owner, developer, tester, or integrator. And then the facilitator will start the round by clicking run batch. And after that round's done, you'll press run Kanban. And after that round's done, we'll press run value first. Once each of the 3 rounds have been played, we'll all return back and we'll have a bit of a retrospective and discuss our learnings, our challenges, and what this essentially means. Is everyone clear there?
What's the time box?
The time box for this is 10 minutes. So in that time frame, the first 2 rounds in particular are run batch is 2 minutes, run Kanban is 2 minutes, and value first is however long it takes. So the actual game elapsed time should probably take 5 minutes, but then there's also a learning section that you can browse through independently and discuss before we discuss it as a wider group. So I'm going to set 10 minutes.
So just to clarify, each one of us is going to click on run batch.
No, just the facilitator is going to click run batch.
Okay, right.
And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate on the screen quickly with a separate game, because I think that will be helpful. What I don't want to do is start off the game and damage Team Ghoul. So what will happen? Can you guys see my screen now?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So when I click run batch, these coins
are Team Ghoul.
Is it done? Is it preloaded? All right, I can reset it. Don't worry.
Okay.
What will happen is when I click run batch, and when you will have your roles agreed, you'll define who's product owner, developer, tester, integrator. The product owner is the only person who can click first, and you'll start clicking. And you can see these coins are starting to highlight a different color. They're going to brighten up. Okay. That constitutes you developing something through the workflow. But in the first rounds, you can't pass something onto the developer until every single one of these coins is clicked.
Oh.
And the other rounds will simulate different versions of that.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Once everything is clear, then the product owner is done, and that will go to the next.
Yes, exactly.
So, but it will go automatically, or product owner needs to click something?
No, it will go automatically. Once it's all done, it will go straight to the next person.
Right. Okay.
All right. Let's give it a go. Let's experiment with it and see what happens. Okay. So, Francisco, if you could kick everyone into the breakout rooms, set us 10 minutes. Yep. We'll see you guys in 10 minutes and see what we come up with.
Cool. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm going to reset Team Ghoul when we get back into our room. Good luck, guys.
Good luck. Andrew?
Okay, guys, everyone back?
Yep.
Did everyone finish all 3 rounds?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, I'm not sure, obviously from my perspective, when I was in Team Ghoul, I was facilitating and discussing what we learned as we went along, but I'd like to invite the wider group now to have a bit of a discussion. So how did it feel playing the batch rounds? Any observations?
Well, for Team Ghost, it wasn't clear it wasn't clearly pointed out what the value of the coins were, and after discussion, we assessed the value of the coins by hovering with the mouse point over it, and based on knowing what the value of those coins were, I mean, knowing that it's from top to bottom, high to low priority, we had a better understanding of what it is we were working with, and getting into the third segment of the assessment, there was a better sense of a collective effort that was made in knowing what the bigger value of the output was, or the output was of the value, which was much more than what it was before the time, because it was a bit confusing in the beginning.
And it was intentionally a bit confusing. What I try to do is not give too much information up front, so it actually simulates real life work, real life scenarios. So in round 1, you'll probably see there's a lot of, oh, what do I do? Oh, I've got to do this. And then there's frantic, and people are waiting around and going, what's going on? And it's a bit chaotic. Okay. So what do we feel batch delivery is an example of in the real world? Is there
I have a question. Did you actually manage to deliver batch?
Yeah, did anyone finish batch?
Yeah, we did.
Isn't it, Chris?
Ghost did.
Oh, congratulations. We
Well
were
done.
clicking fast, but we didn't manage.
So you had to, we used the T-shaped skill, so not only product owner, everybody tried to do it.
Oh.
Okay. So
No, in first we had in, yeah.
Yeah, you gamed it a little bit. So what you're supposed to do is you're only supposed to click on your own, okay? And what that will mean is in the first rounds, the product owner is just pressing lots of buttons and everyone's just watching them, waiting.
Oh, no, actually, we did the product owner managed to do it.
Yeah,
sorry.
I was like, no, we didn't do it for run batch.
No, we didn't do it, no. Okay. It was only product owner, but product owner did manage to do it.
Yes, but the problem with that is the product owner finished their part. And if we think about that in the software world or the non-software world, all they did was define lots and lots of stories ready in a backlog, and they sat there not being worked on.
It was a lot of waste of time.
That was, yeah, it wasn't delivering any value. No, £0 in value was to deliver to the customer in round 1. And the way I describe round 1 is it's an example of waterfall delivery.
Yeah.
You need to finish every possible thing first, get it all signed off before you start the next phase. And the time frame between when you start something and deliver something can be quite a long time. And that means the feedback loop is really long. The customer doesn't get value quickly. Okay? That doesn't mean waterfall's bad. I'm just saying that in this scenario, it demonstrates how waterfall can work and what the consequences of it are. Mm-hmm. Now, let's also explore, I said, how it felt playing that round. As a person who wasn't a product owner, how did it feel?
Frustrating.
Why?
Frustrating.
Yeah, frustrating. Yeah, true.
Because you're waiting.
Yeah,
you're waiting.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, waiting.
So that's an example of waste, right? There's people sitting around doing nothing, waste in the system. How does it feel as a product owner?
Maybe.
I think
could probably.
So I think the product owner will be kind of, the person, everybody's going to point the finger, look, we didn't get anything.
Yeah, so that person is the one sat there waiting, doing as much as they can to get something to the next person in the workflow, and they're feeling that pressure to deliver, and no one's helping them, right? And everyone's just sat around, and they're the only one doing work. It doesn't. I don't imagine that's very motivating. Okay, so let's explore round 2. Round 2, Kanban. How does it feel playing the Kanban round compared to the batch rounds?
Better.
Much better.
Yeah, much better. Yes.
Okay.
We could get the items in intervals, so we can then pass it around to the next person as such. So there was a bit of a trip. We could see some movement, some achievement being done every now and then.
Absolutely.
Bit of control.
Yeah.
There's a constant flow.
Constant
Yeah,
flow, right.
There was
Or bottleneck. You could see the
Or
bottleneck,
bottleneck, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mouse isn't working.
Yeah. So you had clear transparency. You could see where something was stuck in the flow, and you could prompt your teammate. Oh look, you haven't moved along yet. You haven't done that yet. Come on, we've got to finish this. There's an element of transparency and visibility that's there. There's less waste because people are actively playing their part. What do we think that's an example of compared to waterfall?
It's iterative, so you get it like it's faster.
It's faster, yeah. It's more agile. Obviously, it's Kanban as an approach, but the speed in which you can give value to your customer, because you've broken things into smaller chunks, is faster, is better, and it's more motivating to be involved in it because you're actively collectively working together. There's less waste in the process. I imagine it was more fun, but the ultimate result was from, and I'm not sure what was the result for other teams, how much value they delivered in Team Ghost and Ghoul, etc. Maybe you guys could share. How much value did you deliver in Kanban round?
£20.
I think for Ghost, this was, I think, more than £20 or sort of thing, right? Let me see.
Yeah, 20
all of it, yeah.
£20, yeah.
Okay. So in the full 2 minutes, you delivered £20 of value. That was the same in Team Ghoul, and I imagine it was similar in Team Witch.
Yeah, but it took a minute to deliver.
Yeah,
it was
we took
quicker. Yeah.
The first time you delivered some value was later than in another round, and the items you were selecting, I imagine, and tell me if I'm wrong, they were just here, there, and everywhere. You were just clicking whatever you could. There was no prioritization. There was more thought as to, oh, should I select the thing that's got the most value and work on that first? It was just, I'm going to press as much as I can, as hard as I can, and then the next person's going to do the same.
You assumed the backlog was prioritized already.
You know what? It wasn't prioritized. The product owner hasn't quite done their job there.
So £20 is the maximum anyway you can get.
Yes, £20 is the maximum. So let's look at the value first rounds. How did that feel?
Fun.
Bit of a learning curve for us, like Ghost. So we tried a couple of times. So I think you mentioned like it'll be 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and 5 or 6 or 7 minutes. But every time the third game, like, you know, just lasted 20 seconds. And for first couple of times, we thought it was an error. So Francesco tried a couple of times, and then we figured out it's basically value, and then we checked the value going from top to bottom, and then magically we actually made £16 in the last round.
Oh, good work. So you had a few iterations of it, but if you had done it just the first time, what I often observe is people still don't quite select the most valuable items because they probably haven't spotted, first of all, that the backlog's prioritized. It might be that there's a cultural thing where you don't understand the value of those coins, and that's fair with a global team. This is British money, and you might not understand it. And again, I wasn't actively telling you that the backlog's ordered because I wanted it to be a bit chaotic and I wanted you to learn as you went along. But the ultimate outcome is, and obviously one team mentioned they delivered £16. Team Ghoul delivered £3.50 in 20 seconds. If you multiply that by 6, you'd have more than the £20 from the previous rounds. So the value was delivered, the total value was delivered more. There was more total value delivered and quicker, and we were delivering the things that deliver the most value in the shortest time. That's what the value first focuses on.
Yeah. And
can you come back again? Like, sorry, no.
Team Witches delivered 19.77 in 20 seconds. That I was saying we delivered. When we were clicking Kanban, we delivered everything, but it took us a minute. Here, we delivered a little bit less, but in a shorter time because we were focusing on a most valuable thing.
Okay. Good.
So you were saying, Chris, you were saying that, you know, in delivering £3.50, you're delivering more than £20. How does that work? Like, you know, you were saying multiplied by 6. So what was that logic?
So what I'm saying is, if you think that 2 minutes is a longer iteration than 20 seconds, if we call 20 seconds a sprint, we've delivered £3.50 in a shorter time frame. if we then did 6 sprints and multiplied £3.50 by 6, you'd have a total higher than £20 from the previous 2 minutes rounds. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. It's just the sum total of all the possible rounds. And obviously that was from Team Ghoul perspective, there was still a bit of chaos going on. We played 1 round, we didn't play multiple versions of it. And therefore, I think with a bit more learning curve, with a bit more teamwork, their velocity and their ability to deliver would even increase more. So they might hit higher numbers, closer to £16 like you guys, and actually £16 in 20 seconds times 6, even higher. We're approaching 90 something pounds. I can't do the math right now. £96.
Yes, you're right.
So that's the end of that game. Hopefully you enjoyed that. We are going to go back now, and I'm going to bring everyone to me back to the game board. So back to Miro. If everyone can jump back on Miro.
And can you share the screen while you explain?
Yes. Apologies, because we went into the breakout room, the screen share stopped. Let me know if you can see.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a little bit giddy now because we get to play my beautiful Summer Meadow game. Okay. So you're going to click the Space Invader. There's a little arrow above the Space Invader. I'm going to bring everyone to me quickly. Oh, actually, I'm not going to do that because lots of people have navigated away. But I'm going to move there, and I'm going to bring everyone to me at the start of the beautiful Summer Meadow game. Voila.
Oh, cool.
This is a template of my own creation as part of my own company. And it's a special credit goes to David Barnhold, who shared the original version of a beautiful summer meadow game. And I've created a Halloween themed version of it. So if you navigate using the arrow again, there's lots of arrows throughout this board that will take you around the place. Is that arrow not working? How strange.
So which arrow we need to click?
Don't worry, I'll bring you to me. Again, a bit of chaos.
Let's see that.
A bit of chaos because there's so much going on this board. Right, outcomes versus outputs.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to set a 2-minute timer. And I'd like to invite you guys to input in the column, what is an outcome? And then in the column, what is an output? I want to hear your understanding of what these mean and what they are. Don't worry about if it's right or wrong. It's just a collective understanding as to what we believe these words mean. So a 2-minute timer has started. In the same way we have previously, double click on those post-it notes, input your thoughts. What's an output versus what's an outcome? Got lots of responses here. We're hearing something which brings value, a reaction to an event. A lot of mentions of value, so there's a bit of a shared theme here. People believe outcomes are valuable. They are the result of a completed task. Interesting. They are the understanding about something that doesn't have to be a tangible feature. A common goal. They are measured. And something that is delivered. Okay, what have we got on the output side? We've got a product, we've got a number of user stories, we've got a number of finished tasks, we've got the result of an input, what was produced, what was potentially expected, something tangible, something done but not necessarily with value, interesting, and something that is delivered that brings value to the product. Okay. Well, another 30 seconds to finish this off. And again, there's no right or wrong answers here. This is just about how people collectively understand outcomes and outputs to be. Last 5 seconds then. Okay. We're not going to talk about those too much because what I want to do is play the game and contextualize outcomes and outputs. So I'm going to move you guys to the brief section. So what we're going to do, same as last time, divide into groups. We've got lots of team names here. We've got enough for 3 teams again. So I'm going to, well, what I'd like you to do is choose Team Ghost, Team Ghoul, but this time we need a Team Vampire. No, actually, no, Team Witch is fine. Ghost, Ghoul, and Witch. We'll go with the same ones as last time. Apologies. Try and join a different name than you joined last time to mix it up, if that's all right.
Ah, okay.
And essentially, once we've got everyone in their group, we're going to navigate to your team's space. You know, you can have your own whiteboards. And on your whiteboard, there will be a brief, a description of what you as a team need to achieve. Now, the hard part about this, and I'm going to ask Francisco and Anna to facilitate the other groups, the other breakouts, just like last time. When you're reading this brief and completing this activity, you're not allowed to talk. It's complete silence. And what you're going to draw is you're going to draw a spooky Halloween scene as per what the brief tells you, without communicating with one another. And after the time's up, we're going to come back and discuss what we've learned and discovered, and we're going to look at what other teams have produced. So we have 3 people currently in Team Ghost. I'm going to put myself in Team Ghost this time. We've got Anna in Team Ghoul, and we've got Francisco. Can you join Team Witch, please?
Yes. So if you can help me checking the breakout rooms. Team Ghost, I have Angie, Chris, Gladys, and Theodora.
Correct.
Goal, I have Anna, Andrew, Brian, Magda, Molloy. Andrew probably is left from the previous iteration. I think we can confirm him there. And which Beatrice, Keenan, Sasha, Zahid, and myself.
Correct.
Okay.
All right. So don't kick everyone into their places yet. What I'm going to invite you to do is, for your team name, you have a little icon, a little clip art visual for your team. So there's a ghost, there's a ghoul, and a witch. For your team name, click the arrow, and that will take you to your team space. Do not navigate anywhere else apart from that space. So what I'm going to do is once everyone's moved, I'm going to just do a quick sense check and make sure everyone's in the right place. So I've got 3 people at Team Ghost, which looks about right. I've now got 3 people at Team Ghoul, which is a bit short. And Team Witch looks like they've got the right people. So let's just make sure everyone's in the right place. If you need help navigating, in the frames, in the bottom left-hand corner, you have the ability to scroll through and find the frame titled A Spooky Halloween Scene and the team name, and that should also help navigate you there. Okay. So again, don't communicate, don't talk about this brief. But what you're going to do is you're going to draw this inside this white box on your place. You need to draw it hand drawn. So there's a button on the left-hand side that says pen. If you guys can see on my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you click that, that gives you the option of pen, and it gives you colors as well, so you can start drawing. All right, don't start drawing until the timer starts.
Just one last question. It's a drawing, and we are not importing any outside images that Miro allows. It's only hand drawn.
No, it's hand drawn. I mean, it would be too easy if I said you guys could import. It's way too easy.
Can we use shapes?
You can use shapes. Yeah, I'll allow you to use shapes. You can use any functionality within Miro, but no copy and pasting of images from externally. All right. So,
Chris, could you see what team I'm in? I'm having trouble seeing the screen here.
Sorry, what was that?
Could you see what team I'm in here? I'm having trouble seeing the screen.
You should be Goal, Andrew.
Goal again. I don't know why my name's up there, but.
Do we need to go to breakout rooms since we are anyway not talking with each other?
No need. If there's actually, there's a good point. There's no need, because we're not talking, there's no need to go to the breakout rooms. Very, very good point. Hadn't thought about that. So yeah, hold fire on that, Francisco. But I will set a timer. Everyone has 2 minutes to draw to their brief. Can I confirm everyone is clear on what you're doing in the next 2 minutes? No talking. Draw your brief, a spooky Halloween scene, as per what it says on your screen. You have 2 minutes starting now. Good luck. Obviously, this is far easier in person when you've got pens, but I'm tempted to stop. I want to look at other people's boards, but I'm also sharing my screen. I don't want to do that. The idea isn't to influence what other people are seeing. I'll just leave it here for now. Right, you've got a minute left, guys. Time's running out. Make it spooky. I love this game. Last 5 seconds. Finish up what you're doing. Do. Okay. All right. You can't write on this. You can't type on the screen. Okay. So, can everyone still see my screen? All right.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So 2 of you teams had this brief. Draw a spooky nighttime Halloween scene with some pumpkins, ghosts, and skeletons in a graveyard. Team Ghosts have produced something that kind of looks a bit like a graveyard. We've got a vomiting pumpkin. We've got some dead bodies strewn around. We've got a gravestone. We've got more gravestones, some pumpkins, some ghosts. I'm not sure what that is, but it resembles something. How about, this one's chaotic as well. So they also had the same brief. We've got, again, some interesting pumpkin shapes, some skeletons on the ground. I think that's a ghoul, maybe. That looks like a fish.
There was an ET there as well.
Okay. Now, can anyone guess what type of brief was this? Was this outcome or output?
Outcome.
Outcome. Why was it outcome?
It looks like outcome.
Why was it an outcome?
Because I think it's like an end result here.
It's a what, sorry?
End result, like, you got kind of end product there.
Yeah, okay. Any other thoughts?
Trying to create some shapes as such.
All right.
I'm trying to build a theme. That's it.
Okay. So this brief is not specific. It's open. It's an outcome you're seeking is the game is called a spooky Halloween scene. All right. And the outcome was, well, it's a bit spooky. There's various creatures and goblins everywhere, and it looks like a Halloween scene. Now let's have a look at what happened in the other rounds. Okay, we've got. Can everyone see my screen?
I can see, but can't make out. Maybe it's me.
So we've got some ghosts. We've got some pumpkins. We've got more color in this one. We've got some gravestones. We've got a random shape in the corner. I'm not sure what that is. We've got some flying pumpkins because there's no ground or anything like that. let's look at what they were given. It's a bit harsh, this team. Look what they were given. They must have got 5 orange pumpkins, each with 2 eyes and a mouth with 7 upper teeth and 3 lower teeth. 2 green pumpkins, each with 1 eye and a mouth with 3 upper teeth and 5 lower teeth. 7 ghosts, each with 2 black eyes. 2 skeletons with red eyes. 3 skeletons with green eyes. 5 gravestones, equally sized with RIP written on them, and 1 moon in the top right corner. That took a lot of effort just to speak, let alone draw in 2 minutes.
Too many requirements there.
And what was the results of having a very, very detailed brief?
That's exactly what is being asked.
Easy to follow, but yeah.
Yeah, the question I've got is it a spooky Halloween scene?
Silly spooky compared to the other one.
Yeah, the question is it a spooky Halloween scene?
No.
No. It's a cluster of
In the
requirements
making, yeah.
together.
In the making.
Together.
After like 10 iterations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe it'll turn into one after forever.
So I think if the reason is there was too much to do in 2 minutes.
Yeah, that's one point. Now, the question I'd like to ask, the team that had this brief, how did it feel doing that?
It was tough.
Why was it tough?
A lot of detail.
A lot of detail, okay.
Yeah, so.
Probably less enjoyable.
Sorry?
Probably less enjoyable.
Oh yeah, was it less enjoyable?
Yeah.
Was focusing on, how many teeth already?
Yeah.
3, 5.
So in this scenario, you had everything told for you up front. You had no ability to create, any freedom to have autonomy and choose how you deliver to the brief, because everything was specific. You had to do exactly that. And the result was, because it was so specific, you got lost in the detail and didn't focus on the outcome, which was a spooky Halloween scene, right? So if you thought about a spooky Halloween scene, it might have looked less like a cluster of just objects chucked on a page.
Yeah. And
it might have looked more like a scene, which is, we've got a bit of a graveyard looking thing going on here. That starts to comprise the outcome. And I know it's obviously 2 minutes. It's a very compressed time frame. And it's a bit harsh on the team that ends up with a detailed brief because it's far less fun to play. But as a way of contextualizing what we often face in the real world, how often have you guys experienced a situation where a product owner or a stakeholder or someone in the business comes to you and says, I want exactly this, and gives you all these detailed requirements, and you've got no freedom to say, well, actually, what you're looking for, the problem you want solved is X. And we think, there's probably 5 ways of delivering that. And we're the experts. Why don't we do it this way?
Yeah.
That's what this game is all about. So as a debrief, I'm going to bring everyone back to me now. Let's explore. How did it feel not being able to communicate? First question, over to you.
Very good.
No, just type in the post-it notes.
Where? Yeah. Okay.
How does it feel not being able to communicate? I mean, do you think you would have achieved better results if you were able to talk through that? Someone's still playing the game because they're drawing again.
Really? Oh, that's funny.
Let me.
All right, so some of the things that are coming up, it was blocking us. There was a lack of trust and transparency. It felt restrictive, less enjoyable, isolated. You felt more critical of what others were doing because you couldn't hear why they were doing it. It was challenging, and it was hard to coordinate on who was doing what. Now, I'm not saying you guys don't communicate in your work at all, but a common observation I see and hear out in the working world is that teams aren't as great at communicating with one another, at being clear and open and transparent about why they're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I've done this game where teams are able to speak, and I've done this game where people aren't able to speak. And I felt like doing the not able to speak version tonight, just because it was my whim. But it's always an interesting observation. Now, what did you observe while playing through this game? So we've kind of talked about some of them already. But what did you observe? What challenges did you face? What observations did you make, and how does it compare to what you're doing work-wise? All right, so about half a minute left, 30 seconds. So we've got a limited tool set, lack of vision, felt creative. There was a more creative requirements or creative solution when the requirements aren't too specific. When there was more detail, there was less freedom, absolutely. It's important to focus on the goal and outcome. And yeah, people doing this. Too much detail, what to do? I will just do whatever I can. All right. Next question. How can you focus? So if you were to go into work tomorrow, what could you do differently to be more outcome focused with the people you work with? What experiments could you try to enable you to provide those you work with more of an outcome focus than an output focus? Start with why. Yeah, quote Simon Sinek. Invite Chris to facilitate. Yeah, I can't attend every session, I'm sorry. As much as I would love to, there's only one of me. That's actually why I do these sessions, is to share my knowledge. And I produce a lot of videos as well on my YouTube channel to impart what I've learned and discovered over the years, including these sorts of games. So I do invite you to look at those, because unfortunately I can't attend every session as much as I'd love to. If someone develops a cloning machine, let me know though. I'm right there.
Oh my God.
Okay, we're going to do the last section then, which is what support do you need to enable you to be more outcome focused? So the last topic was about what you can actively do, but this one's about what do I need to be able to enable me to be more outcome focused? What support do I need from others to be more outcome focused? And this could be other teams, other people, leadership. It could be learning, more resources in terms of the knowledge and access to things. I'm not talking about people when I say resources. All right, about 20 seconds left. When does this meetup run till, Francisco? 8:30?
8. So
8.
in 15 minutes.
No worries. Well, I think that means that with the end of this game, it will mean time to kind of start wrapping up and collecting feedback. If that's okay. As I said, this is an experiment, and hopefully it's been a good one.
Chris, question from the chat.
Yes.
Where's your YouTube channel? Maybe we can post that later in the meetup.
It's already on the board, and I'll share that as part of the wrap up.
Beautiful.
I've already thought about that. Don't worry. Okay, so that is game over. Let's navigate our way back to the start. So what have we covered today? We explored and learned where we were in the world. Lots of locations covered, lots of roles covered. We've played 2 games, 2 of the 6 games on offer. There is a bunch of others available also. What next? So as mentioned, I'm going to bring everyone to me so you guys can see. Hold on. And I'm still sharing my screen. So there's my LinkedIn. I am the virtual agile coach. If you went to linkedin.com / the virtual agile coach, you'll find me, or you can search for Chris Stone. My YouTube channel is youtube.com / the virtual agile coach. It's quite easy. And I can paste the link into the chat so that you can see. One moment, I will do that.
I think Joe paste that already. The short URL of that should be the same.
Yes. If that's already done, wonderful. Feedback then. So with regards to this Agile Arcade, as mentioned, it is an experiment. It's the first time I've done this. It's a game within a game. It's gameception. It's chaos. But I'm keen to hear how it went for you guys. More importantly, you tonight were my customers. So I'm keen to hear how it was for you. So if you wouldn't mind spending some time answering the questions, how could this session have been more useful to you? What went well in the session? And what would you like to see more or less of? There's lots of post-it notes there for you to chuck your thoughts in.
And there is one question in chat. Can we utilize these games at work?
Yes. So the answer is my whole ethos is about being open source always. So anything I produce on YouTube, any boards I create, any styles of facilitation I do will all be freely accessible. So if you'd like to access this board, if you have a Miro account, then what you can do is either contact me on LinkedIn or drop me an email. My email is on here. And I will send you a downloadable copy of this Miro board that you can then export onto your own instance. Unfortunately, the way that Miroverse works, if you're familiar with Miroverse, it's their collection of templates. It's not very agile in terms of how they load boards on there for wider use for everyone. So I've got lots of things that I've put forward, but it takes months for it to actually appear. So at the moment, the best way to get access to what I'm doing is to speak to me personally and I'll send you a copy. Either or, what I'm planning to do when I get time is I will add downloadable versions so you can self-serve on my website. Nice. I was going to include in here, Anna and Francisco, the kind of next visual Agile meetup, but I couldn't see one on the meetup, so I'm not sure if you have any detail about the next one.
We are preparing something at the moment. Still discussing with next speaker, but I think we will also take a look at what would you like to see more. And this is the session for Chris, what you would like to see more in his games, but also you can maybe leave a note for us if you want us to cover something in the future meetups. So we will piggyback on his feedback session.
All right. More kids' involvement. Yeah, I can work on that. Interesting, though, I did a video not long ago on someone asked me the question, do I see value in teaching agility to youngsters? And I absolutely agree. If we can teach agile concepts to kids at a younger age, I genuinely feel we'd have less issues of children growing up with mental health challenges, because particularly if we taught them to embrace failure as a learning opportunity rather than a negative, I think we'd have far less challenges with people comparing themselves to others on social media and all sorts of things like that. And they would see that negative experiences are actually a learning opportunity and it's not a failure. I can definitely think about how to do that more. And I'm meeting up with a couple of other practitioners soon to discuss how to do that exact thing, agile games for children.
Well, if you want to try them and test them, maybe we can try to organize an event for kids, and all our attendees actually bring their kids in the session.
Yes, if they can play Roblox and Fortnite, we might as well teach them Agile early.
Yeah. All right, so lots of really good feedback here, guys. So more time per game, absolutely. What I guess I was trying to do was enable the ability for people to play multiple games, but maybe I can add a bit more time for the games and have more reflection on them. If that's a value, can definitely take that on board. Great to see a lot of good feedback about what went well. So glad people enjoyed it. That's what it's all about. It's about having fun. And then I guess the most common theme seems to be more time. So it sounds like you guys want more of this. I do have a game about story point estimation, by the way. So I can definitely add that to the repertoire. That can be game bundle 2. And I guess if you want more of this, I'm more than happy to facilitate more of these sessions. I was thinking of creating my own regular Agile gaming specific meetup.
Yes, I think you can go for it.
Yeah.
if you have enough material to get it going, to keep it going for a few sessions, I think, yeah,
Well,
definitely.
I don't even, I guess I don't even see it as just being a me thing. I would love to facilitate a situation where people come and bring their own games and you try and experiment with new games and things like that. And it doesn't have to be just me facilitating. It could be a self-organizing thing where gamers in the community come and share what they've learned, experiment with new games, get feedback on them, and then take them out and work them with their respective companies. A bit like how Play 14 does, but I think more frequent.
Absolutely, absolutely. My personal experience is that you want to take some time to get the community going. So, but you have plenty of material here. And then you can start inviting people. You can invite from day one, but it will take a little bit of time before people volunteer to run a session.
Sure.
So that's, but you have plenty of material and buffer. I don't see that as a problem at all.
Absolutely. If anyone would prefer, I plan to create each of these games in their own individual board rather than it being a full arcade as well. So if you would prefer just an individual game, then I'm happy to share that also. The ones that I already have available to share are the Beautiful Summer Meadow Spooky Halloween Scene one. That's ready to go. The others I will have to spend a bit of time preparing. I think the feedback's done, so I think we're good to go. Is there anything anyone else wants to share, talk about, raise while we're here?
Oh, it was a great session. Thank you for this.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. That's great.
That's great.
We can get to
Well
one more.
done. Oh, nice.
I like this one.
Is that V?
V for Vendetta, have you seen it?
V, yeah, it's awesome.
One of my favorite films, and I can quote the whole V speech off by heart.
Oh my God, it was good.
And I've got a video called A is for Agility on my YouTube channel where I do the V speech, but I convert it all into A words, so that it's A alliterative. So it goes aloha, in air and hump something agile advocate, and it's all around that. So have a look at that if you like V for Vendetta.
Nice.
Very good.
All right, it's a pleasure to meet you all. Connect with me on LinkedIn. Look forward to gaming with you again in the future. Have fun.
Thank you again.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Bye,
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Chris.
Cheers.
Bye.
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 Ciao. Okay, let's stop recording.